once again, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. We're already done with the solemn part for today's celebration, and so here we are at Malala's Events Place for the wedding reception of our newlyweds in celebration of their new life together as husband and wife. Alright, so at this point, ladies and gentlemen, are you guys ready to welcome our newly wedded couple? Parang medyo mahina. Again, are you guys ready to welcome our newly wedded couple? Alright, but before that, let me just acknowledge first the key persons who took a great part for this joyous affair. For without them and their support, this event would not be made possible. Okay, so now ladies and gentlemen, as I call your name, please stand so you will be recognized. Okay, so let's start off with our ninongs, Mr. Oliver Reforma. Alright, Mr. Junel Borones. Mr. Ramil Maguno. Mr. Alan Apordo. Mr. Novem Isidor. Mr. Salvador Sandrejas. Mr. Fillmore Reyes. Mr. Florencio Flores. Alright, let's give them a round of applause, please. Mr. Eric John Abiar. Mr. Eddie Abubakar. Mr. Lorhino. Mr. Welito Balagon. Mr. Edgar Apordo. Alright. Mr. Mel J. Castillo. Mr. Ireneo Pasaol. Mr. Agapito Dator Sr. Alright, thank you very much. Mr. Ernesto Sarsonas. Mr. Rickred Comingwood. Mr. Khalil De Poros. And Mr. Eric Cañete. Thank you very much. Now we have here our ninangs, Mrs. Joselle Grace Reforma. Mrs. Zenaida Heronino. Mrs. Cecilia Lopez. Right. Mrs. Marites Cabonilas. Mrs. Fredesminda Deraco. Right. Mrs. Julie Sepe. Mrs. Baby Reyes. Mrs. Genevieve Flores. Right. Mrs. Alni Salomeri Stock. Mrs. Mary Bell Sepe. Right. Mrs. Mary Joy Mantos. Mrs. Giselle Gavia. Mrs. Asteria Tubo. Mrs. Liza Apordo. Mrs. Avelina Neri. Mrs. Trina Eletico. Mrs. Rosanit Cañate. Mrs. May Ann Abailon. And Mrs. Miriam Capillion. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, we also have here the parents of the groom, Mr. Rosimal Apordo Sr. together with Mrs. Delpe Apordo. Let's give them a round of applause, please. Alright, thank you very much. And of course, we also have here the bride's parents, Mr. Rogelio Comigod Sr. and Mrs. Carmelita Comigod. Alright. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, are you guys ready to welcome